for the month.
And
So
that is it. Wonderful. Now we're going to move on into bucket fills. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is your opportunity to fill someone's bucket. You can share something positive about someone in our office, someone you dealt with in a transaction, or just spread the love. So open mic now. Who wants to go first?
I have 3 people.
Go ahead, Corrine.
So Salma for the awesome tech classes, Danica for the off-market properties list and the preferred vendors list, and Ariana for the strategic marketing properties list upkeep. So, you know, I think that we kind of take for granted sometimes that they're doing this, and this all takes time and energy. And so it's so generously given to us. So I want to thank the 3 of them.
Oh, thank you, Corrine. That was very sweet. Anybody else?
Nancy, I'm gonna jump in there as well and just share. I think Stephen had posted recently our KW SoCal, Southern California region. We've got some Metro family that we wanted to recognize for the month of October for their leaderboard. The Summerfruit Group ranked number 4, top teams, closed units. Congratulations. The Blooms ranked number 4, top teams, closed units. That's in the Southern California region. And Stephanie Jensen ranked number 1, top producer, closed units, and ranked number 2, top producer, closed volume for the month of 2020, October. So congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got one. I guess everybody who's been doing, you know, the Ignite instructors, really appreciate them. You know, found a new agent. There's a lot of good information that we're getting from the Ignite instructors. So kudos to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you. And I love your backdrop as well. Super cute.
Thank you.
I have one for Balin.
Go ahead, Peggy.
One for Balin. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Balin goes above and beyond. He came in, he's a realtor, and he got into some staging, and he's been doing a really good job for me personally in my listings. And I just want to say that not that he just does it as a job, he does it as a personal relationship. And I really appreciate that. And I want to use him for every one of my listings, whether they have furniture in there or they're vacant. And thank you, Balin.
Thank you, Peggy. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the training reminders. Eve, you want to take it over?
Yes, ma'am. We've got our last 2 Ignite sessions happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. with our ALC board member, Melinda DePerna, going over and negotiate the deal. That's at 10. And then on Friday with broker Bob, closing it out with the coaching corner on how to close the deal. So that's 10 o'clock. And then Thursday, KW Command with Salma again tomorrow, right after the Ignite. That's at 1 o'clock. And she is going over how to make custom just listed and just sold landing pages. So don't miss Salma tomorrow. We will repost how to log in to that session on Zoom.
Sherry Peters, mute.
Good, we're good, okay. And then also lastly, no scripts practice with SJ for the remainder of the week. However, on Friday, Carl is still doing his script practice on Friday at 8:30. And then all of next week, no scripts practice as well. I'll send out another reminder to everyone. And that's it for me. I think it's time for Bob's.
Hi, everybody. Do I have slides, Evie, or no?
I do have slides for you.
Okay.
I'm ready when you are.
Load them up, baby.
There you go.
Here's the coaching spotlight with our fantastic coaches. They're doing a great job with everybody in the coaching program. Paul Tolentino got a new BRE sign. Congratulations, Paul. Haiti got her first BRE. Congratulations, Haiti. Great job. And Mandy opened up an escrow. Good job, Mandy. And Mustafa opened up another escrow. Great job, Mustafa. He's actually in growth with Alicia, and her growth team's doing really well. And Greg closed an escrow. Great job, Greg. I like your Facebook posts and your social media posts. And Carlos in Clarissa's program closed his second escrow. Great job, Carlos. And that was a big one up in North County. Good job, Carlos. And then finally, Emmanuel opened up an escrow. Great job, sir.
Woo.
Great job.
That's it.
And no broker updates now because we're going to talk on risk management about a few things in a few minutes. So you guys don't have to hear me the whole meeting.
Oh, thank God.
And now we have Movement. Do we have anybody for Movement joining us today?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, Keller Williams Metro family. It's great to see all of your smiling faces today. I just wanted to pop in and share with you, you probably have seen these in the office, our agent marketing playbooks. They have lots of great ideas for social posting, creating content for videos, planning your day, productivity tips, lots of great resources. We produce these monthly, and we used to have them there in the office, and not a lot of people are going to the office these days, so I'm going to be sending them out in the mail. So those of you who don't already receive them from Ed or Amanda, I'm going to post this link in the chat you can use to give me your name and mailing address, and we'll go ahead and get you on the list to receive these handy dandy playbooks monthly by the mail. And I would love to host a mastermind where we could go over the ideas that we're picking and share with one another and really help boost each other up and build our business from there. So really excited to work with you on that. And that's all I have to share with you today.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you so much. Do we have Justin from A+?
I hope so. I'm here. Hey.
Hey, Justin.
Hey guys, how's it going? Justin A+ Escrow. I just wanted to pop in real quick and let you know about taxes. Taxes, first half 2020, 2021, taxes are delinquent on December 10. We have some transactions where the customers are a little confused because they've already been paying their taxes. So we've had to let them know that the county is actually 12 weeks behind on posting those payments. So
Holy
what
heck.
we have to do is, yeah. So what we have to do is obviously we have to pay them through escrow, and then your client will obviously get whatever duplicate payment refunded back. The title companies are super quick on getting those refunds back from the county, but they still have to process the first payments. So they are going to be crediting any penalties and anything like that that people are obviously going to accrue. But I have spoken to the actual recorder's office, and they said that, yeah, they are definitely running 8 to 12, but more leaning on 12 weeks as far as processing. So that's the only red flag I've got. Nothing else new as far as escrow. I know a lot of the escrow companies are super busy because we're getting business from other companies where they just have too much volume. We still have the ability to process escrows with our current turn times. We get escrow instructions out the same day we get the prelim. So everything is still pretty much on time, and our title partners know that we need things done ASAP. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Justin. And do we have an ALC member for the Culture Committee, Bridget?
Hello, everybody. Who needs a little Christmas in their life right now? My ugly Christmas sweater just came in. I'm so excited about it. Anyway, it's time to dust those off. If you already have one, we've got a couple of really exciting events happening. The first one is going to be our holiday party, Keller's Christmas Kwanzaa Cranky Bash. We have a lot of really exciting things coming up. Just stay tuned. We'll have more information. We're going to have games. We're going to have prizes. So make sure if you don't have an ugly sweater, grab one. And more importantly, if you're creative, make one. So we look forward to seeing you guys Wednesday, December 9th at 2:30. It'll be right after the Metro meeting. And then Eve, if I could have the next slide, please. We have two more. Do we have a next slide? Maybe we don't.
That it?
We do. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So our other two events. We have our Giving Tuesday. We're going to be doing another stream-a-thon to benefit the center, same one that we did for Red Day. That's going to be Tuesday, December 1st, and will be from 10 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're going to be having we're going to be doing some similar things as last time, but it's going to be more focused on our talent of probably singing this time. We'll probably have more singers. We're looking for some new talent this time as well. So if you know somebody who's a really good singer, please reach out, let us know. And then finally, our holiday cookie drive. After having a couple of fun events, we're going to be giving back to the community. Susan has graciously offered to deliver cookies to the homeless on our behalf. So all you have to do is make them. If you're like me, you're probably just going to go buy cookie dough. Don't tell Nikki Francis, but I can't cook that well or bake. So if you're like me, go grab some cookie dough, just throw it in the oven, listen to some Christmas music, and we will be rocking. We look forward to seeing you guys at our upcoming events. Thank you.
And I'm just going to throw one more thing in, Bridget, if I may.
Please.
I'm sorry, I'm not on video. There we go. Oh, I was just thinking, and it's okay if this doesn't fly, but since we're making the delivery and it's getting cold, if anybody has any extra blankets they're no longer using, or any extra jackets they're no longer using, or maybe some old sleeping bags that you're ready to refresh and renew, feel free to include those with your cookies, because this time of year is a wonderful time to be receiving blankets and jackets for these folks. That's it. No pressure on that. Just thought I'd throw it in since you're going to be delivering cookies anyway. Thanks.
Awesome idea. Thank you, Susan, and thank you, Bridget, as well. Do we have any property pitches today?
Miss Judy, I think you posted. Did you want to talk about it?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Now, this is a property, single family home in northern Chula Vista, just west of Broadway, 660 Chula Vista Street. Actually, we just opened escrow this morning, but I wanted to announce it because I didn't get to announce it yet, because the owner of that property also owns a property right behind it with 4 units, and that's not on the market yet. It's got 3 buildings and one is a duplex, so that's 4 units. It's going to be on the market for $949, and it is there are those little old buildings built right after the war, but it's definitely a really cute property, almost 10,000 square feet, and that's going to be on the market coming soon, probably in about 2 weeks. Anyway, right now we're going into escrow with 660. This is also a very large lot. Not sure if it could get a variance for building extra properties, but I imagine it could. So right now, I just wanted to let you know about it. And there's the MLS number in case you want to look it up. Thank you, and stay tuned for the 4-unit property coming up soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Judy. Do we have anybody else? Nobody else?
Yes, I got one.
Oh, go ahead, Michael.
I got 2. I got one that's over in Otay Ranch. It is it's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2366 square feet, townhome there. It's right over by Ascaya. For those of you that know the Otay Ranch area, it was built in 2019. Very great place, beautiful. On the 3rd floor, they have a huge loft that can be a man cave or a game room, and they have the 4th bedroom up there with its own bathroom. So that one's listed at 5. We just reduced the price. It was $575. We reduced it to $569.9. So that's that one. And then I got one that's over in East Village, right across from San Diego City College. And that one's a smart corner there. It's an end unit, corner unit, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. That one's for $499. So if you got any buyers that are interested in any of those areas, just let me know.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mike. Do we have anybody else?
I have one. It's 848 Denise Lane in El Cajon. It was going to go on the market last week, but the seller wanted to do some finishing touches. This is one that has been staged by Balin Fernandez, and it's so beautiful and cute. And it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, priced at $525,000. That's $525,000. And it's pretty low. It's a really cute house, and it's a great, one of the quiet neighborhoods in El Cajon. So going to go on the market probably next week, but I would love to be in escrow with somebody here. If you want me to send you anything about this property, please let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Peggy. Anyone else before I pass the mic to Bob? No? Okay. He's all yours. Take it over, Broker Bob.
What is that?
Pretty woman is
I was
here.
giving you background music. Come on.
Where are my backup dancers? Where's
We were
Drew?
doing it here.
He's a dancer. Hello, everybody. So nice to see 66 people on here for risk management today. And we're going to do something a little different today. But before we get started, I do want to talk a little bit about escalation clauses. Is really the top. It's not the topic for the whole meeting. It's just a topic to start. Now, I'm going to put in the chat box a scenario that an agent called me on this week, and this will be interactive because I want to hear what you guys think may happen. So here's the scenario. If you can't see the chat box, wrote on the contract, the buyer agrees to pay $20,000 over appraised value, not to exceed the contract price of $830,000. The appraisal came in at $770,000, and the seller said, "Hell no, am I taking $790,000?"
Oh, what a mess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. That's putting it mildly. So some of the brokers on the call, I see Bridget's here. What do you think the scenario would happen if this was actually, and this is a real life scenario.
Is it our buyer or our seller?
Our seller.
Well, I think the start would be to have that conversation with a seller up front. Every single seller I've had this year, I've had the conversation of, when we open escrow, I don't think this property is going to appraise at this price. And fortunately, knock on wood, every single one of them has, or they removed appraisal contingency. But I think having that conversation up front and saying, this is where the numbers are, and if we get anything beyond that, that's like a bonus. That's your Christmas present. And sometimes I think setting the expectation works way better than just telling them, hey, look, they're willing to pay blah, blah, blah over appraisal, because that means nothing to a seller if they don't really understand what the value is or where the numbers are.
Okay. That's one opinion. I like it. Anybody else?
Well, what choices does the seller have if it's an appraisal at $770,000? Are they thinking if they cancel this escrow, they're going to get $830,000 by another appraiser or a buyer who's not going to care about the appraised price?
I don't know.
That's a
good question,
conversation.
Katie.
Yeah, that's the conversation.
You guys deal with a lot of sellers. What are their expectations right now in this market?
Yeah, having a conversation with the seller about a deep conversation about value of the property and their expectation is very key here.
Well, Robert, I mean, I would definitely say it matters on the property. I mean, if there was 15 offers on the property and they were getting a lot of offers in the 800s, I mean, I would think as a seller, I would say, well, you know what, that was a bad appraiser. I mean, I've had appraisals done on one property to the next where it's a $30,000 difference in a 2-week span. I mean, it's very, very objective to the person, to the appraiser, in my opinion. But
I would say Stephanie's opinion there is, I mean, if they contracted at 8:30, that was an accepted offer. Depends on how they languaged it, but that was the accepted offer.
The key word here, Ashley, you're right, is language.
Mhm.
You guys need to understand how attorneys love to look at language, and we're not attorneys, right?
Mhm.
And this is where attorneys end up in court to
Well,
defend their client's language that they put in a contract.
Well, I think if I may say something with respect to not to exceed the contract price of it for 8:30, I would have probably deleted that sentence and maybe specified a property that doesn't appraise at the contract price. You know, both buyer and seller agree to pay up to $20,000 over whatever the appraised value was, and that's it. Leave it at that. Adding that extra remaining of the sentence is, I think, where the problem is.
So are you saying you would rewrite the escalation clause?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And what advice have I been giving you guys the last few weeks?
Call you first.
Lawyer. Make sure
What
the lawyer
else?
approves.
Huh?
Lawyer approval
Yeah.
of the verbiage.
Yeah.
You guys
Has to be,
really,
and broker approval. Has to be broker approval.
you really need to make sure that you consult with your fiduciary. Hey, this is different contract language that we're writing. I'm not an attorney. I need to make sure you understand that. And I need to make sure that you need to go speak to an attorney to talk about this escalation clause and write it in such a way that you are protected. Because the way this one's written, that seller with the contract price is expecting 8:30. Who could they make a claim against misrepresentation of fiduciary duty?
Their agent.
The listing
Yes.
agent.
Yes.
Their agent.
So listing agents, listen up. If you are dealing with escalation clauses with your seller and a buyer writes an escalation clause and you guys just present it and get it signed by the seller and you're like, oh, they're going to get 8:30, and that seller's mind, they're thinking 8:30, they got a claim against you. And I'm sorry for bringing this up all the time, but I'm here to protect you. And this is happening more and more because particularly we're seeing appraisal issues happen, right? Are you guys seeing that now?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
I have not seen an appraisal issue yet.
So if a seller accepts an escalation clause, does that also prevent them from ever knowing exactly how much the final price of the home actually would have gone up to? Doesn't that stop negotiations from other offers?
I'm not sure of the question you're asking, Cal.
If the buyer's not satisfied with the results and wants to ask the seller to reduce the price, then they have to disclose the appraisal to the seller. So the seller will see the appraisal.
Well, yeah, they're going to probably in this scenario.
I thought that was Cal's question. Will
Yeah.
the seller know?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I talk a little fast sometimes. So like if a seller, if they accept an offer and it has an escalation clause in it, will that prevent the seller from actually knowing how much higher the final price for the home might have gone up to?
Well, this one came in below the agreed to contract price.
Okay.
So it didn't go above, it stayed below. And in this scenario, if this particular clause right here is open to interpretation by attorneys, and attorneys love interpretation. Like, and I don't want to get political, but do you see interpretations of stuff going on right now in politics?
Yes.
And to me, that's just the attorneys wanting to make a buck. That's all it is. My light just went out, so you guys are going to see me in the dark.
Robert,
Is this-
question, please?
What was that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why the seller can't simply cancel the contract, because it was
Yeah.
written that, I mean, why can't the seller just negate the contract and then move on to another buyer? Is that not an option for them?
They could.
Yeah. This
Doesn't
isn't
mean
binding for a seller, right?
Doesn't mean they still might not have a claim against you.
Yeah, I think in this situation, the buyer would come back and sue for specific performance because the language says we're going to pay $20,000 over appraised value.
Yeah,
And we're going to get the property then. Boom.
exactly, Ashley.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Sue for specific performance. And then you guys are all in court. On that $800,000 listing, let's see, that's 24,000 at a 3% minus your fees. I mean, you can compute commission really fast. I know that. Horrible at math otherwise. As agents, we're horrible at math. But so I bring this up as a scenario. It's a rather vague scenario. And I want to thank John Fields for letting me share it because he's the one that called me on it. And they worked it out. However, you have to be really careful with escalation clauses. I know you're all probably doing them. We see them. And Mark is doing the SMH every day when he sends it to me. Look at this one. SMH is shaking my head because of the way they are crafted and the liability you are putting yourself into that could affect your license.
How did they work it out?
I don't know really how they worked it out, but they worked it out.
Robert, this is Emily Holmes. Can you explain why the sellers would have a right to cancel in that scenario? I don't understand that.
I don't know that we can say they absolutely, sellers typically don't have a right to cancel. They could try, and then I think the litigation would start.
Exactly. Okay. So, Broker Bob's word of advice. Escalation clauses are bad. You consult your fiduciary. Hey, I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice. And you need to document this in an email as well as after having the conversation, because this is going to CYA if you do end up in court. Yes, Mr. Seller, Mr. Buyer, we did talk about it. And matter of fact, I sent you an email on such and such date documenting that we talked about this. And this is to protect them, really, and protect you. But you've got to have, whether they go speak to the attorney is another story. If they don't speak to the attorney, that's their choice. They're agreeing, though, that they're going to move forward with this escalation clause and that you guys are crafting, okay? Every scenario is a little different, too, because, you know, there's multiple offers coming in and et cetera, et cetera. But I get asked this question more than any question in a week. I probably get 5 to 10 escalation clause questions. Contract says this. What do we do? Okay. Next thing. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about something and do like a little more interaction. I want to get kind of a pulse of not the market. I want to get a pulse of the agents you're dealing with in the market. And you can be frank. What are you feeling about their professionalism or their angst or their worry or their stress or their interaction with you? What are you guys feeling? Or seeing?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Bob?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I'm driving right now. But to answer your question on that, a lot more angst, a lot less professionalism as far as for just a lot less professionalism when it comes to like communications.
Okay.
You know, keeping communications open and you know, just being able to answer their dang phones half of the time too has just been like, man, you know.
Okay.
So
thank you for sharing.
Professionalism.
What else? How's your interaction with listing agents or buyer's agents? You know, just to even get escrows opened.
I'm just gonna speak for me. I'm dealing with an agent right now who's extremely weird. Just before the escrow got accepted, he asked me what nationality my client was. He asked me if I was single, and just all kinds of weird stuff that I wouldn't expect. And so, yeah, people are weird right now. I don't know why, but they're just weird.
Rightfully so. Or listing agents.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Peggy.
I get listing agents that either are not responding at all because they're just like, oh, so overwhelmed. And also on the other end, getting listing agents who are like, they're not getting that many offers. So they're like really generous with information and just hopeful and open. And so I'm getting the extremes depending on their circumstance.
Okay. Who feels stress in the market?
Hey, Robert, question. How many, and I know you see the CDAs and all kind of stuff going through. How many agents leasing our office are doing 4% listing? Because I've seen more 2% offering to the buyer side. So, I mean, it's just maybe I'm reading too much into it, that if people are taking less commissions, they're thinking they have to do less work on the listing.
There's competitiveness on the listing side. I'm seeing a lot more listing agents taking less and paying the co-op broker, the buyer's agent, 2.5%, and they're taking 1%.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it seems like, at least for the ones that I've been seeing where lower commissions, I almost feel I'm not saying a lesser agent, but I just feel like the communication or the knowledge base or how much time they put into it, at least in me trying to get questions out of them, I have seen a little bit of difference. So it could be just outliers in those kind of situations, but I don't know if it's across the board if that's happening.
Yeah, like what I'm trying to get at is everybody's stress level in the office.
Not just our office, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
The
Because
whole
it has
world.
an effect in our office. So let me share a little story what happened with me this week. You all know I'm Hillcrest Daddy and I go work out at F45 because I think, I'm 25 years old and I can do 2 boot camps every day, 5 days a week because I'm strong and masculine, blah, blah, blah. Well, I was doing upright rows the other day and my trap started burning. I'm like, that wasn't good. But I continued exercising. And by the weekend, I was completely immobilized. I couldn't get out of bed, couldn't move my neck. And so by Tuesday morning, Monday, I'm like, I got to go to a chiropractor. And I haven't been to a chiropractor in years. And thank God I found the right chiropractor because he talks about, he's exactly the one I wanted because he talks about mind-body connection. And when he did my evaluation, when I went back in, he's like, he did the x-rays and everything. He's like, when we get stressed, Robert, we carry a lot of our tension in our shoulders. And for me, I feel sometimes in this role, I carry a lot of your guys' stress on my shoulders. And I'm talking to him, I'm like, yeah, I have the weight of 300 people to make sure they all are doing well and taking care of themselves, but also that they're moving their business forward. And a lot of the stuff that happened it was time on task over time. He says the upright row was just something that broke the camel's back. It was always there because if you look at my vertebrae, I have some weakening there that caused the straw that broke the camel's back where it finally snapped because I have so much tension up here. So what I want to start with right now is that, first of all, what I want you to do is everybody, if you got a pen and paper, make sure you have that handy. But I just want you to sit in your chair right now. And we're going to do a little exercise and just get comfortable. Just be comfortable in your chair. And we're going to do a breathing exercise because one of the things that can help with your tension on a daily basis is making sure you're breathing. If we don't get enough oxygen into our system, we're not getting the blood flow that can go to help correct my shoulder issue. So it's as simple as just starting breathing. So everybody kind of close your eyes, sit back, and we're not going to do this for an hour. So it's going to be a couple minutes. Sit back and close your eyes, and we're going to breathe in for a count of 4. We're going to hold it for 4, and then we're going to breathe out for a count of 4. And we're going to do that a couple times. So on the count of 1, 2, 3, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Or hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do one more time. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this helps your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It brings your heart rate down, your blood pressure down. Trust me, the role of managing broker is usually sometimes when I'm getting in to help you guys in a transaction, it's pulling you guys off of each other's neck because you guys are like at each other's throat in the transaction. I want you to practice that every time you have an interaction that you weren't pleased with a cooperating broker on the other side. Get out of your head, drop into your heart. I have on my Apple Watch for 6 times a day, it reminds me to breathe. Because if I'm not breathing right throughout the day, we're not getting enough blood flow and oxygen to help us get through these tense times that we're all experiencing. Another thing that the universe has been telling me is my meditation practice, that I need to increase that. So that will be something I'm working towards. But one of the things that I started this year was the practice of self-care. And I'm always telling people to make sure you put yourself first. And I definitely am doing self-care this year. Self-care doesn't mean just being kind to others. It means making sure you're taken care of first so you can be the best of service to others. It could be going and getting a massage. It could be walking in the park. It could be with nature. It could be going to the beach. Some of the things I like to do, like even with Chris and Alicia, we would like sometimes meet at the beach and go walk on the beach, grab a burrito and have, nice little walk on the beach. It doesn't have to cost money. Cost of burrito is $5. But we just wanted to get out in nature and have some fun. And when we go in this business and we don't take the time to take care of ourselves, we end up not being the best that we possibly can be. Another thing to come from is gratitude. And we're learning this in Ashley's class, Discover Your Destiny. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I want you to write down in that piece of paper 5 simple things you're grateful for right now. Just 5 simple things. With me, it was like the bed I had to sleep in last night, the hot bath I took today, the new Dr. Bo that's going to help me with my neck, my 2010 Nissan Xterra that I love that got me there to my appointment in time safely. And then, of course, all of you. It could be as simple as Nancy Perez scaring us in the office every time on our TikTok videos.
I'm not thankful for that.
Renegade.
So who wants to share some of the gratitudes they had? Just a few, like 1 or 2.
I would say the life that I, wake up to every day, as long as you're 6 feet above, I think that's a good thing. Family and my animal addiction to horses. They help me cope, so.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share? All right, you're all very quiet. Go ahead.
I'll share. I am grateful for the apartment that I have, being able to, during a time that we weren't able to pay rent for a couple of months, you know, they were okay with it. And then being able to pay that off because of real estate. And then also my pets and my boyfriend.
Perfect. Thank you. And I didn't see who was saying that, but thank you very much.
Maribel.
Maribel. Thank you, Maribel. So one of the things that I'm doing right now for my self-care this year is I'm taking Ashley's class. And I asked her to be on here today because it's called Discover Your Destiny. And if you're not taking it, the next time it's offered, you need to take it. And in that class, she's talking about several concepts. And one of them was Stephen Hawkins, who wrote the Map of Consciousness.
David Hawkins.
Or David Hawkins. David Hawkins wrote the Map of Consciousness. And Ashley gave me his book right after I had my head trauma. And the book's called Letting Go. And talk about perception. You know, she knew that the whole issue with the head trauma was about not letting go of stuff, because I tend to hold on to stuff, and we all do at times. And I asked Ashley just to speak from the, to speak a little bit about the, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen, Ash.
Oh, good.
The map of consciousness and how this energy in our lives can be affected in real estate when we're in this lower level of energy. And we're learning this in her class. And it's great. And it's a great class to take. And I hope you guys do take this the next time it comes around.
Well, thank you for that plug. And I will say it's not exactly for everybody. You need to be ready for it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you are interested in taking a deep internal journey and figuring out why you're on the planet, then take it. But it's not all that comfortable for a lot of people. This particular tool and model is one of my favorites, because how many of you, if I can see show of hands, how many of you sense energy or feel energy? Yeah, I always assumed everybody did, but some people are way, way attuned to it and some less so. However, we're all impacted by it. So imagine being an experience you may have had, think back and being in a room where somebody entered the room and you knew without them saying a word that there was anger fueling them. You can almost feel it coming off of them. Same thing with grief, any kind of sadness. When you look at the bottom of this chart, and anything that's in red or orange are destructive energies. They actually reduce possibility. They tend to drag everybody else who is exposed to that energy down to that level. And really, the farther down you go, the closer you get to death, essentially. So for people who are really struggling through this year because of COVID and being locked at home and all the political stuff going on, if you have a lot of people around you that are in the red, regret, despair, blame, be cognizant to get time away from that. And I know it's hard, especially if it's family members and you're trapped at home with them. But there's a gravitational pull downwards. So we have to be very conscious about getting out and around people or things like horses, Cal, I love that can take you closer up into that yellow and green area, if not higher.
Animals are the best to be around.
Yeah. They're usually, honestly, most animals are going to pull you up into the blue area. Reverence, joy, love. It's going to still be a long haul in terms of getting back to anything that we all would consider normalcy. And so I would advise you take a screenshot of this or just Google Map of Consciousness and start being aware of where your energy is resonating, where you're kind of hanging out energetically, because it's really tough to get into a thriving position in your business or in your relationships if you're not at least at yellow on your way to green. Everything under that most of your life is going to go backwards if you're spending too much time in those energies.
May I just add something real quick? I mean, I am a new agent, so I don't know how else to ask this question, but to just simply ask, if there's anyone that's going to be struggling for Thanksgiving dinner, please shoot me a private message, and I'll do everything I can to make sure that you have a Thanksgiving dinner. Me and my family, we'll make sure we try to take care of you. So,
Cal, you every freaking meeting and class that I see you in, I mean, you just brought tears to my eyes, man. You're a good man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm already crying. I know that the not just the real estate industry, but the world in general has kind of been living in red and the orange a lot lately.
Albert, I wanted to share something very quick. I was kind of very down, and until I received this, I don't know if anybody see that.
It's a picture. What is it? Sedona?
It is Arches National Park, and this is a note. Actually, let's see if I can see that.
Just read your green screen is not allowing it.
Can you read it to us?
This is from Coach Clarissa. She sent it to me, and it's just to tell you that it made my day. It say that understanding that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Ariana Huffington. Yeah. And then under that it say, you got this, Coach Clarissa.
Hey, Ashley, it is that. Ashley, I have a question. I had to log out for just a minute, so I missed the first part of your bringing this to the screen. Is gratitude anywhere on this map?
Well, so this is more about emotions and energy.
Okay.
As we experience them, gratitude in showing and expressing it in any way will pull your energy up. Just depends on where you start. So if I start in guilt because I just did something I know is bad, and I go, and I say my gratitudes, it's going to pull me up, hopefully, to apathy or grief. But if I use gratitude and I'm at acceptance, I have a better chance at getting to reason and love. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I'm glad Robert brought this up, but for some of you who may be new to us, this is not something we do all the time. And the class that I'm offering, it has nothing to do with real estate, and yet everything to do with your life. And our belief at Keller Williams is your business grows to the extent that you do, and your business will diminish to the extent that you diminish. And we're fighting against that right now in so many different ways. So I know we as a staff, all I've been telling the staff for the last 6 months is take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself, because we will bring on all of the challenges you guys have, right? That's our role. That's our jobs. We are going to help you and take on some of that weight for you, as you're doing for your clients. And as Robert alluded to, you're doing just in interacting with escrow people who are stressed out, and lenders who are stressed out, and co-op agents who are stressed out and maybe not skilled. So you're taking all that potentially negative energy in, which is why I would advise be aware and conscious of doing what you need to do to get yourself higher up that map of consciousness.
I've never done more breathing exercises for multiple agents and coaches this year that says, I'm done, I'm out. And just to get them to breathe and get them into gratitude, at least kind of helps for the moment at that time. And yeah, as Ashley says, we don't do it this way all the time, but as managing broker the whole year, all my risk management have been like new rules. I feel like I'm Bill Maher, new rules. And I'm like, I didn't want to present another new rule thing that cars come up with, and we have to follow this rule. I wanted to have just a kind of have you guys leave and feel good about, if you're having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or whatever, that that we're all experiencing it, and we'll carry as much as we possibly can. But for me, like Ashley said, take care of myself. Yeah, That's why I ended up at the chiropractor with the weight of I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders, and it just snapped. And there is that mind-body connection that if you don't take care of the mind, it's going to travel to the body, and then the body's going to get it, and it's going to say, you know what, little effer, here you go. And I can't speak volumes, and I'm going to have Dr. Bo on for a Zoom class about stress and stress management. And I knew I picked the right one because I watched his Instagram stuff, and he's really about that, really caring and compassionate. And he talks about what you need to do to stay, to keep the body functioning. And otherwise it just eventually just breaks. And this, you'll probably see a rise in the next few years of more disease and stuff from this year, not from the pandemic, but from the stress that the pandemic and everything has brought on for everybody.
If we don't learn how to get it out of our bodies, that's absolutely going to be the case.
And that's the critical thinking that's necessary, that understand that and to grow in that. And hopefully we're planting a little seed right in here that will ripple out in the real estate community, is my hope, to ripple out to everybody that needs to have this. You know, if you do get in an argument or something with the co-op agent, or that you feel like you need, you know, stop and breathe, and don't like come at each other's throats. Be the better, be the higher. When they're in that zone, don't get dragged into it, because then you're both just in the dirt, scrambling around. So
I'm going to share my screen really quick. And for those of you that are taking the class, because a lot of you are, you'll see this again tomorrow, but it's, I want to share it because it's pertinent for everybody right now. As I put that up, somebody read it for me.
Eve.
Sorry, I can't see it.
A lesson.
A lesson will keep repeating itself until it is learned. Life first will send the lesson to you in the size of a pebble. If you ignore the pebble, then life will send you a brick.
Right.
If you ignore the brick, life will send you a brick wall. If you ignore the brick wall, life will send you a demolition truck. Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, so Broker Bob's brain bleed was the demolition truck, and I want to keep all of you from having that. Like, listen to what your energy and your body's telling you. And we're here to support you through that, by the way, obviously.
And by the way, if you're under the age of 40, wait till you hit 40. I mean, you might not get this now, but you young whippersnappers, you don't know what knee pain is until you start hitting 40. You're like, all of a sudden, oh, I never had that pain before. And then your lower back hurts, and then your hip hurts. So enjoy it while you've got it, youngins.
And treat your bodies well now.
Yes, exactly. All right, kids. Well, I hope you got something out of this risk management meeting today, because it actually is risk management, prevention of you falling off the cliff and going down the path of what the other people out there, that we can be the catalyst for change in this entire real estate community in San Diego that I feel really needs it now more than ever. They really do. And we can be the person, the envoys for peace and love. And write this thing down. We're here for 3 things in this physical reality: to learn, to grow, and to love. The learning comes in lessons. That allows us to grow. And once we grow, we understand love at a higher level. If we don't learn, we're not growing. All right, kids. I hope everybody has a great day. Peace with all of you guys. Love you all.